Yeah.
So by him being able to lead the building of the grave and do other things, he is now passing on to us to be able to do the same thing. So now sin does not have control over our lives. I know that is different than what people tell you, or the message I preached once, the devil made me do it. I know it's different than that, but sin no longer has power over my life because Jesus has left the building. And because not only did he die and carry all the burdens of my sin on his shoulder, the resurrection proves I'm no longer bound by the power of sin. If he had just died and had not risen, then maybe we could still be bound. But because he rose up with the same power that he laid it down with, he let us know that you don't have to be bound by sin.
My God, go ahead.
You don't have to be bound by addiction. You don't have to be bound by situations in your life, depression, heartache and pain, poverty. You don't have to be bound by all that because Jesus conquered the last enemy, which is death. And because he did that, everything else falls in place.
My God, yes, yes.
The Bible declares that Jesus told death, "What is thy sting, grave? What is thy power?" Because by him leaving the house of the grave, he demonstrates to us that there is no house that can hold us. I thought somebody would get happy with me this morning, but that's all right. I've learned how to work in a hard house. There is no house that can hold us. What do you mean, preacher? There are some houses that have some of us captive. There are some houses of depression. There are some houses of poverty. There are some houses of past pain. There are some houses of addiction. There are some houses of, it looks like every time I turn around, something bad is happening to me. There are some houses of self-pity that some of us are in. And these houses are trying to hold us down. But when Jesus left the grave, he showed us there's not a house that the devil can put together that can hold you if you dare surrender yourself to God. There's not a house that can bind you up if you ever dare to surrender yourself to Jesus. The perfect example of him leaving the grave lets us know that nothing can hold us, nothing can bind us, nothing can keep us down. Matter of fact, the only thing that can keep you down is you.
Yeah, go ahead, say it.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
The only thing that can keep you down is you. If you don't want to step across that throne and be a part of the kingdom, you're keeping your own self down. If you don't want to surrender your life to Jesus, you're keeping your own self down. Well, preacher, I beg to differ. There's some people who are successful. There's some people who are doing this and that. Yes, you are right. There are some people who are doing this and that. But I dare you to go ask them, are they happy?
Take your time. Take your time.
Have all the money in the world but still not happy. Isn't it amazing that athletes have so much money but yet still they got to go somewhere to get something that they don't really need and find themselves all jacked up in jail and lost their career? But if it was all about just the money, they wouldn't have to go anywhere else. Burris wouldn't be in jail now if it was all just about the money. He had just come back from winning the Super Bowl. If it was all just about the money and the money can get you everything you need and you'll be happy about that, then a lot of these people who are messed up now wouldn't be messed up.
That's right.
And I'm here to tell you today, you think it may be all about if I can get to a certain financial situation, I won't be in the situation that I'm in and I'll be a whole lot better. But you can have money and still be unhappy. You can have money and still have your pity party. You can have money and still be in pain. You can have money and your heart will still be broken because money can't mend your broken heart.
That's good.
Money can't buy you love. It can get you a company for a little bit of time, maybe a couple of weeks, but they can't buy you real love. Go ask Solomon. Solomon knew all about money. If you read the book of Solomon, if you read about Solomon and King, Solomon had enough women to have money every day and still have another one left over. It was so that Solomon went across the sea and got all the artwork, got all the food. It was so bad with Solomon that the king of Sheba came and said, Solomon, the half has not been told about your wisdom and your wealth. And yet and still, Solomon said, without God, there is no happiness. Without God, you can't make it. So the real king has left the building to let us know that whatever the enemy tries to put us into, whatever bind, whatever cage tries to put us into, we can do just like Jesus. We can walk right through it and not be affected. I love the way Jesus left the building, how he didn't just unwrap himself, but he just passed through it to let us know that no matter what wall is before us, no matter what restricted is before us, we don't have to tear it down, but with the power of God, we can just walk through it.
Yes.
I don't have to go around it, I don't have to go over it, I can just go through it.
That's right.
And the difficult thing for many of us is that we don't want to go through it. Because I'm here to propose to you this morning that the only way you're going to get out of your house, the only way you're going to be one of the kings that leave the house, you got to go through it.
Yeah.
And here was Jesus. He went through the thing that had him bound. It was the grave clothes that had him bound. It was the grave clothes that were restricting him from moving. It was the grave clothes that was keeping him bound. And he went through the grave clothes to let us know, I don't care what tries to hold you bound. I don't care if you didn't have a daddy who taught you how to do things. I don't care if you were an orphan. I don't care if you don't have any money. I don't care if you lost your job. I don't care what it is that kind of holds you bound. You can pass through it just like Jesus did, because you got to realize you are a king too, because Jesus is a king, and because he left the building, you can leave the building too. I dare you to tell them your person down there, I just left the building. Oh, you didn't say that with confidence. See, you don't know what keeping yourself in the building. You don't know what keeping yourself there. You don't have to stay where you are. You can come out of where you are, because Jesus already paid the price. He has already fought the battle for you. You don't have to fight the battle. All you got to do is maintain the victory. The battle has already been won. The hard thing has already been done. What's been difficult has already been done. You didn't have to die on the cross. You didn't have to endure the pain. You didn't have to have everybody looking at you as they kept you up there and mock you and say, if you're so powerful, come down from the cross now. You want the one that they whooped and put a hood over their head and said, prophesy, prophet, who hit you now? Oh, Jesus went through all that for us, and he went through all that pain so that we don't have to go through it. We can be victorious. The king has left the building. So I must propose to you today, are you going to be a king? Or are you going to be a pauper? But see, if you just want to be just an ordinary person and not the king, yes, you can't leave. You're restricted. You have no power. You have no authority. You can't go nowhere unless somebody tells you to go somewhere. Are you going to be the servant? Are you going to be the king? You already heir to the throne. It already belongs to you. So the question is, are you going to exercise your authority as heir to the throne? Or are you going to sit back and be the king, but not act like the king? It's terrible to be the king and everybody's telling you what to do. It's terrible to be the king and you can't even leave the palace. It's terrible to have all the things to your access, but they can't reach it. It's almost like that commercial. You go get a sandwich, you put all the sandwiches together, and you look in there, and there's no Miracle Whip. And you put the sandwich right back in there. And some of us are just like that. We got everything. But the only difference is we don't know that the Miracle Whip is just hiding in the refrigerator, because the devil don't want you to know that it's there. But if you ever move some things out the way, you'll find it's right there. I dare you to move some things out of your life. See, you got some things that are blinding you from God. You got some of your own pride. You got some of your own ego. You got some of your own characteristics that are blinding you